All right, let's get right into it. We're going to take a deep dive into one of the most terrifyingly ambitious plans for universal conquest ever conceived, the Apokoliptian Mandate. And just to be clear, this isn't your standard military takeover. We're talking about a complete strategic doctrine for conquest on a scale that's, well, it's both geopolitical and metaphysical. This is the blueprint for building an entirely new cosmic state, a fifth world, founded on absolute, unshakable order.
And this image, man, it just captures the whole conflict perfectly, doesn't it? This is the war we're really talking about. It's the raw, chaotic, primal scream of instinct versus the cold, calculated, perfected logic of a protocol. This is a battle for the very soul of existence itself.
So, to really get a grip on why they want this total control, we have to start with the problem they think they're solving. Because from the perspective of Apocalypse, the universe isn't just a little messy, it's fundamentally broken.
And what is that fatal flaw? You're going to love this. It's free will. Yep, the entire doctrine of Apocalypse rests on the idea that our freedom to choose isn't a gift. It's a bug in the system, a catastrophic error in the code of reality that always leads to chaos and destruction. And that leads us directly to the mission statement from the top, from Darkseid himself. It's so simple, it's terrifying. This isn't about getting rich or grabbing territory. The one and only strategic goal is to conquer everything, and then to systematically wipe the very concept of choice out of existence. Now you have to be asking, how do you even begin to justify a plan that extreme? Well, that's what's so fascinating. There's an entire philosophy behind this, a foundational principle that makes their mission feel, at least to them, completely necessary. Let's dig into that. It's called the prime law of monstrous divinity. And here's the absolute key to understanding it. You cannot destroy chaos. That raw primal instinct, it's a permanent part of the universe's source code. You can never delete it. So if you can't get rid of it, what do? You have to manage it. You have to control it. And they trace this law all the way back to the very beginning, the first world. This era was born from something called chaos genesis, and it wasn't run by laws or reason. It was governed by the pure divine instinct of these beings called the First Ones. They basically proved that raw chaotic impulse is the foundation of everything. So, if that primal instinct is here to stay, what are your options? According to this doctrine, you've only got 3 moves on the board. You can't erase it, so you either try to refine it into something more civilized. You can try to suppress it, keep it locked down, or, and this is the signature move of Apocalypse, you weaponize it. And that brings us to the core methodology. How do you actually do that? How does Apocalypse turn that primal scream we talked about into a perfected protocol? How do you turn a howl into a working algorithm? The answer is something called technological codification. This is where the philosophy gets real. It's an industrial process. You've got these machine gods of Apocalypse who study the nature of those chaotic first ones like they're reading scripture, and then they systematically map those chaotic urges and translate them into the precise, predictable language of code. They are literally trying to re-engineer reality itself. This chart just lays it out perfectly. Look at how it works. You take a primal instinct like fear, which is messy and unpredictable. They convert that into combat calculus, basically a fail-safe system. It becomes a logical, hyper-efficient response. Or you take primal hunger. That gets turned into energy optimization, a tactical system for extracting resources. They're turning messy feelings into cold, hard, weaponized assets. And that's the end goal right there. That line is just chilling. The raw, untamed energy of the universe doesn't get silenced. It just gets subjugated to the logic of control. Chaos doesn't have to be eliminated if you can make it compute for you. But hey, is this all just theory, some abstract, dark philosophy? Not at all. Let's take a look at the living weapon that serves as their ultimate proof of concept, the thing that validates their entire doctrine actually works. This is the blood son of Apocalypse. He's not just a soldier. He's an engineered weapon system, a prototype for that fifth world they're trying to build. And what's so wild is his origin. He was literally forged from the DNA of a first one, a being of pure chaos, to serve as a tool of pure order. So this is the paradox he represents, and it's the whole point. His genetic lineage is first world. It's pure chaos. But his faction, his purpose, that's all fourth world order. He is the living, breathing proof that the Apokoliptian method is viable. He shows that you can take the universe's most primal, untamed force and engineer it into a perfect, obedient weapon.
So, if the diagnosis is a flawed universe and the method is to weaponize chaos, what's the final piece of the puzzle? What's the end game tool that's required for a total, irreversible victory?
Every doctrine of total conquest needs an ultimate weapon, right? Something that just makes all resistance futile. For Apocalypse, that ultimate weapon isn't a bomb or a death ray. It's a math problem. It is called the anti-life equation, and its function is terrifyingly simple. It is a formula that once you solve it and broadcast it, gives you complete and total control over the minds, thoughts, and emotions of every single sentient being in the universe. It is the final instrument of conquest, the tool that finally achieves their mandate, the elimination of free will. And that brings us to the chilling philosophy baked into its very name. Anti-life isn't just for dramatic effect, it's a literal description. Because from this point of view, what is life if you don't have choice? The equation is the ultimate expression of order, a final state where individuality is obsolete, and the problem of freedom is finally and permanently solved.